Well, so this here is the Lexus UX300e. Now, officially, this car hasn't gone on sale in India. It's an electric compact crossover. And when it goes on sale in most probably February or March around the Auto Expo, it will probably be priced around 80 odd lakh rupees. Now, in terms of the size, this car is a rival to the BMW X1, the Mercedes GLA, as well as the Audi Q3 in terms of size and shape. But it's a much poorer car than that. It's a much lower car in terms of the height. But in terms of looks, I think it's the most sharpest of all these cars. Now, the reason for that, of course, is this prominent grille up front. This Lexus grille is a huge attraction, especially with these lamps. These steeply raked lamps looks very stylish, and of course they have multiple projector beams in them. There's also this aerodynamic cuts and creases over here which give it a very solid look on the front. The side profile with the squared out wheel arches also looks very special, and of course this car is riding on 8-inch Michelin wheels and they of course are low rolling resistance to give you better mileage. At the back, when you go onto the back, you'll see the roof line is slightly sloping at the back, and that when you see at the end from the back end looks very special, because the back end of this car is very stylish with those big beam of light connecting the tail lamps, and really it's a very elegant yet sporty design. It seems as this car is a lean machine and it's come working out hard from the gym. Now I think it's the best looking car, but what about the interiors? Let's check them out now by jumping inside the cab. Well, I'm sure by now all of you are aware that Woodmo are the online expert when it comes to spare parts, and the best point is that they have the spare parts for all vehicles available in India. So even if your car is out of production now, maybe you have a last generation model, even then they have the spare part available. They have the entire catalog, and the best point is that they have the same spare part from a host of different component makers, which gives you great flexibility in the pricing overall. So check them out today. Check out the app. It's available both for iOS as well as Android devices, and also check out the website for the latest schemes as well as offers. Well, so the first thing you truly appreciate about this car is the fact that the seat comfort is truly exemplary. The seats have very good support and they feel very sporty. You get these nice bolsters, support for your under thighs is good, support for your lower back is excellent, and even for someone who is my girth and a generous girth like me, these seats are very supportive. Now, the good point about this interior is the fact that all the controls for the AC as well as for the seats, they're all over here, and they're all button controls. So that's something which a lot of old school people like me will like. And of course you get a big and nice touchscreen. You can use it by doing this, but yes, it's a and of course you also get a big and nice touchscreen, but you don't use it by touching it over here. You can use it by this touchpad, and that's something which is quite good because you don't have to stretch out your hand and get your eyes off the road. You can easily do it from here. So that's something which is quite good. You also get a nice clock to give you that feeling of luxury. And just in general, the fit and finish, the design, the overall feel good factor of this car is quite good. It's very different from all the German rivals, the BMWs, the Audis and the Mercedes of the world. It's very different and very unique. So if you want something different and unique, you'll appreciate this car. The seats are both cooled as well as heated. The steering wheel also is heated. In terms of features, you get a lot of radar based technology. You of course get blind spot assist, lane keep assist and stuff like that. So those are features which you might get in this car. We're not sure what features ultimately Lexus will offer in India, but these are features which you do of course get on this product. In terms of overall quality, it is right up there with the Germans, and of course in terms of the ambience, it is quite good as well. Of course in terms of storage space, you get this huge box where you can keep a couple of bottles like this, maybe more than a couple of bottles over here. USB old school and USB type C, as well as large storage to house those big bottles in them. Overall, it's a very nice place to be. The silhouette, the design, the overall feel good factor inside this car is genuinely quite good. Let's check out the back seat of this car and see how good that really is. And before I forget, let me just show you that there's also a small sunroof available on this car. Well, so let me quickly tell you about the back seat of this car. Now, in terms of the overall space, you can see kneeroom is just about adequate. Headroom is decent, but kneeroom is a bit, on the premium side. And it's also not a very wide car, so only two will be sitting over here in comfort. The third passenger, he'll have to jostle for space with the other two occupants. So that's a bit of a negative. And the positive is that just like the front, the back also gets cooled as well as heated seat option, and you also get two old school USB charging points. So those are some positives in an otherwise tight and cabin which is less in terms of the space. Anyways, now let's check out the boot and then take this car out for a drive. Well, so now let's quickly talk about the boot, the dicky of this car, and it's a power tailgate. So all you do is just press the button and it pops up open. Now in terms of the shape and size, it's a nice and square boot, but it's not too deep because of course the battery pack and all that stuff is there, so that takes up a lot of space. It's about 300 odd liters, which is decent, not the best again, but decent, and it should accommodate a couple of big bags for that weekend getaway to the hills, but nothing really more than that. There's a bit of a loading hill as well, so you'll have to just put in a little bit of an effort when you push your bags in and out of this car. But other than that, as I said, it's quite a stylish boot. It's a powered tailgate, as I said, so all you need to do is just press this button, and once you close it, you can see the stylish packet of the car with this beam of light and these pumping out rear tail lamps, which really look like it's come back from the gym after a very solid day of workout. Very good looking car from whichever angle you look at it, front, side or rear. The Lexus is a great little package in terms of looks. Now we've seen the car's interiors, the dicky and the boot and everything. Now let's get in the driver's seat, drive it around and tell you how it is to drive. Well, so here I am driving the Lexus UX300e, and the E stands for electric in this car, as you all know. How is this car to drive? Well, let me get you some figures first. It comes with a 54 kilowatt battery pack, which is quite substantial in its own right. What you'll also enjoy about this car is the fact that this car comes with about 200 bhp of power, which is quite good. And you might not feel that it's a very, very powerful car. It's not really outright a very powerful car, but it still is a good package in terms of the power delivery. It's a substantial package. It's not a ultimate, electric flying machine like some of its rivals or maybe some other cars, but it's quite good and quite substantial. As I said, you do get pedal shifters, and what are these pedal shifters for? Well, you might think that this car has actually, those fake kind of gears where you can move these pedals, but it's not for that. It's basically for the regenerative braking and how much of it you want. If you pull the left pedal, the braking effort or the regenerative braking improves, and when you move your leg away from the accelerator, the car, as you can see, comes to a halt without pressing the brakes. And of course, if you use the right pedal, then it reduces, the braking effort reduces, and the car still goes on a little bit of a stroll when you move your pedal away from the accelerator pedal. So that's something which is there, and that's the reason why these gear shifters are there, or these pedal shifters are there. It's not really for shifting any kind of gears on this vehicle. What you will like is the steering wheel. I really enjoy driving this steering wheel. It's a very crisp steering wheel and very accurate, very well weighed as well, something which a lot of customers will enjoy. And it doesn't feel like a crossover. It really feels like a low slung sedan. It really has that sedan vibe about itself, and it just feels very sporty to drive, very engaging, and also you get cocooned from everything else, and the dashboard also is very well tuned towards the driver. So these are things which really make it a nice package to drive. The steering wheel, as I said, is quite accurate. You can, of course, as I said, make this car go even a little more engaging by using it in sport mode, and in sport mode it just feels very nice and much more engaging than it is in the regular comfort mode. So that's something which a lot of customers will enjoy. Of course, the range goes down in sport mode because the battery pack is being used up a little better. Well, the suspension is slightly on the firmer side, and I think it's been tuned more for European roads and roads which are better than our Indian conditions, even though we've not driven on bad surfaces in the morning. As you can see, we're driving it just behind India Gate and in these lanes behind India Gate. So we've not really encountered a bad road, because this really is the best roads available in the country, in the city roads. So it's not really found any bad tarmac just as yet. But yes, if we do find some tarmac, I'm sure that some of those badly pasted roads and some of those potholes will definitely filter into the cabin, because as I said, the suspension is slightly on the firmer side of things. Overall though, I think it's quite a good package, and definitely I would recommend this car when it goes on sale in the months to come. In March, I think it should be on sale on Indian roads. What do you think of this car? You can let me know in the comment section below, because I really do want to hear what you have to say about this car. And before I stop, I just want to give you a small message. And that message is that when you drive your car and whoever sits in your car, please always tell them to belt up inside the car, because belting up is your first safety device, and all the airbags, ABS and other devices only work as well as they can if you are properly belted up. So please remember to belt up when you sit in your car, and also check out if your loved ones at the back are seated and belted up properly. Well, so if you're in the market for a compact crossover, then definitely you should keep this car in your shortlist. It's not on sale right now, but it will be around February 2023, around the Auto Expo. And if you want something different from the usual, if you want something different from the Germans, then this is a very good option for you. It's very modern, very sophisticated, very classical in terms of the design, and it still manages to look very sporty and very elegant as well. It's very different, and when you drive it on the road, I'm 100% sure that people will turn around and see what car you're driving, because it looks really stylish and very premium. So my short summary is, hold on to that check if you're in the market for a compact crossover, luxury compact crossover, and consider this car when it comes out in February 2023. So bye for now, and thanks so much for watching.